All right. Well, we're going about to get started. So, welcome to another episode of the Philosophy of Chillin. I'm Dunlap the Connect. If you didn't know already, you see, we in a different atmosphere, and it's somebody joining me today that y'all might not be familiar with. So, with that being said, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm singer, songwriter, American recording artist from Charlotte, North Carolina. It's Isaiah Grubbs. I put up at the philosophy of chilling.
For sure. And with that being said, for the rest of the episode, we're really just gonna be talking, enjoying the atmosphere, and as always, I don't share the topic of conversation until I'm actually with my interviewees, my co-hosts, all of that good stuff. Because really, we just sharing ideologies at the end of the day. So, with that being said, the theme and the topic of this episode is faith. And the question that we're going to be trying to answer is, how do we see our faith enacted through our life's journey? And how have we been able to cultivate and articulate that to the people around us?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say it again for the people that's watching in the back. You feel me? We got the volume on low. The topic is faith. How do we see faith enacted within our life journey, within our life's journey, and how do we, or how have we been able to articulate that to other individuals as well?
Um, I know it's like, first of all, I know faith all comes from like first like a conscious mind. I know for me, I always overthink. I used to overthink a lot. You know, I've learned if I'm gonna do something, I just gotta go out and just do it. It was
Mm-hmm.
with my faith. I'd say a lot like has to do with like they said, like I said, just overthinking.
Mm-hmm.
What comes from your mind. You overthink too much, you're gonna mess around and not want to do it. I mean, you ain't gonna really want to have no faith. See, God says, walk by faith, not by sight. We ain't supposed to know what goes on
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes later. We supposed to walk with Him right now.
Yeah,
Trust that faith. Overthinking means we walking by sight.
yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I would say even for me too, I still overthink to a certain degree,
Mm-hmm.
to where it's like I can feel now when my body is responding negatively to the faith that I have.
Yep.
Like subconsciously, it'll be points where I'm just talking to God. I'm like, look, God, forget what my conscious thought said.
Mm-hmm.
Forget all that. Like I'm straight face to face right
Yeah.
here in this mind conversation that we having. I'm with you. I'm down to do whatever you need me to do. I'm down to show up, do this and do that. But like, I'll find myself like if I'm talking to like family members or if I'm like trying to articulate why I move the way I move to other people,
Yeah.
I can hear like the forms of doubt trying to come out and it'll reflect itself within the words, but then subconsciously I'm like, I mean, yes, that's the realistic details of it, but like I always find myself trying to figure out like how do I just communicate like bro, this faith right here that I got, like something in me is telling me, bro, it don't make sense.
That makes sense.
It don't make sense. And I know you can't see it too, but I gotta do it though. Like, and for me that's kind of been difficult because even when I try to think about like how I got started with media and entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't even something that I like knew off bat like this is exactly what I wanted to do. It was just like, okay, I like to learn.
How did you get started?
Um, okay, well, I like to learn. So I've always had my hidden books,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, I was just always hyper aware of my environment.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got older, I had a vision. It was just like, look, where can you apply all of this knowledge? What type of industry? I just had questions in my head, like what type of industry can I do this in?
Yeah.
Where can I put all this stuff so it can go towards a positive way? And I had people in my life say, hey, you like to learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to look into consulting. I'm like, what the fuck is consulting? Like, I don't know what that is. I'm still in high school and stuff like that. Come to find out, it's really just you being a guidance for somebody else and just being paid for it based on your expertise. So that's how the idea of like business and everything else got in my mind. And then I had friends that were producers, engineers, artists, and they was like, yo, you good at this business. Can you help me do this? Can you help me do that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I really got started in the career path, because they just kept pulling me in. I was like, okay, bro, but if you ask me to help you, don't half-ass the shit, because I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to get on your ass about it if you brought me into it. So, like,
Okay.
that's pretty much how I got started for real. But how about you?
I got started. Let's see. I started early age, say 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Started in church. Um, and then speaking back on what I said on the bucket list, um, you know, I had to realize, okay, I'm performing in front of a different crowd. When I get out there, step out to these lounges, 18, 19, 20, we ain't talking about no praise God, everybody stand up because they gotta stand up. Now you talking about like you singing to demographics,
Who ain't
people who got
obligated to
different.
support you.
So that was a big thing too, where like now knowing that okay, you out here in life and you got to now navigate. You got to you got to make your own fan base. It was hard doing that. It's even hard. It's still hard trying to figure out what people want. You know. But first it started by me just figuring out what I wanted, and then figuring out how can my life issues and um, how my life issues can relate to somebody else's life issues. Start putting into a song because I used to just make a record and just you know, oh, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be clout. That's gonna be this. Gonna be that.
Yeah.
But then I really started understanding the message behind why I made a lot of stuff, and I couldn't understand. I wanted to know why I make stuff. I want to know why things, and if I couldn't explain to myself why this song was made, I had no business making a record.
That's
Now
real.
I can make a record, and I sound old as hell, but now I can make a song, single, album, and
we old souls over here. Don't hate.
So and I got started, like I said, by faith. Where faith, I got started by that. Coming in buildings, timid as hell.
Yeah.
Started, coming in here. Isaiah Grubbs, where you at? Oh, he chilling somewhere. He quiet. But now I'm walking there. You gotta walk in there. You gotta walk in there knowing that you've been through some shit. I've been through some shit. I don't feel like it, but I know I have. Look back from my first performance video to now my recent. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. I've
Different
changed.
Nigga.
Yeah.
You're a different nigga. Like,
you done transformed, my boy.
I'm not gonna lie. So that felt good. I'm seeing some type of change, and yeah.
Yeah. One thing that popped into my mind as you were speaking, being like surrounded by the church. Cause that's how I grew up as well. Like my great grandma, she was Pentecostal. My grandma is Baptist, and sometimes I find myself looking at the way that they articulate their faith and what they believe, and then I look at the principles that I use, which are the same. They have the same base, the same foundation. It's just the practices look a little different. Yeah, and it's like what I found is in the process of being able to understand what that vision was, because I know when you say, yeah, I had faith, it's because something was placed in you that you was like, okay, I don't know where this is coming from, but this feels right. It feels in alignment with what I want to do. Like when my soul is calm, that's how I know that's somewhere I'm supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I made a quote about this earlier today, um, on my Instagram. But like God, He gonna put you in with people that you need to be with, other than the people that you want to be with later on
Yeah.
down the line. And then He gonna put you in places that you need to be at. The places that you think you want, the places you think you want to be at. But only like only God gonna know, like through His timing as
Mhm.
well. And He's gonna put you through some tests to see if you really want it.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
fail them tests, yes, He gonna have you keep learning some more and keep trying over till you get it. But
Mhm.
He gonna be like, all right, you want it? Let's see if you can handle
Mhm.
it. If you can't handle it, and I know that wasn't.
I know,
I'm gonna put you
bro.
where I
That's
need you. What
fact.
you want. If I gave you what you wanted,
You not
you would have
gonna.
been
You would
somewhere else.
squander that jump by now,
Oh,
like.
give me $1 million a day. I'm squandering that thing tomorrow.
You feel
So He
me?
making me work hard for it over time.
Yeah, that's real. Um, and I know we're talking a lot of principles that people can readily identify and
Yeah.
understand, but like we said earlier, it looks a little different when it's walked out in somebody's life. So, what are some lessons that you've had to learn in articulating your faith to other individuals, even whether they believe in God, spirit, what so have you?
Um, Back then, I've always had a hard time of listening,
Mm,
listening with others, listening to others, um, trying to figure out and gain a perspective on why. You
mm,
know, my good friend from New York named Shamar. He he taught me how to really just sit down and listen. And it takes a village. It can't just be one man to really be like, all right, this is what we should do. This is how we set the tone. No, it collective, everybody. He taught me. He was a real brother in teaching me, like, what I should do. He wasn't gonna let me sit in my ignorance.
mm,
And he told me, Isaiah Grubbs, you have like a name. You have your name. What you do with that name, you can inspire somebody. You have a microphone. You have a unique way of giving a message out. You
mm,
know, you want that message to be negative and impact negative, because you'll get the attention, you'll get the
yeah,
gratification that you want at the time when you're doing negative stuff, when you're
mm,
giving out negative and sharing that faith negative. But when you sharing it positive, it's gonna multiply. You'll see the fruits coming in
mm,
later on. And I feel like I'm very cautious now of what I'm putting out. Don't get me wrong, y'all still want to get crunk, we'll get crunk. But me, the real me,
you
like,
feel me?
but the real me though, like each album also that I have on my Apple, like I made a Get So High album. That was a combination. Yes, it get great numbers, cause yeah, but it had
Mhm.
different songs up in there, like whatever you own. Like it's like it's like Niggling Zay Zay on his whole shit type shit.
I like
Because I
that.
was at first, I'm a lover boy till the
Yeah,
day I die.
for sure.
So, but then along the way, things happen,
Yeah.
to where it kind of, took from the slow jams and ballads to that time to when I was singing about getting high, linking up, do all that shit, to now it's like I'm really now understanding, I'm finding the reason why behind, you know, people do the things they do. Um, and I'm putting that into my music,
That's a
you
good
know,
one.
and I,
That's a good question.
yeah.
Okay. I don't mean to cut you off, but you really just inspired a question. So that understanding aspect,
Hmm.
what from you having to learn, I'm finna put my all into this vision I've been given or this feeling. Like, actually, matter of fact, let me start there first. What what solidified your faith to you? What was the moment where you was like, okay, this is not necessarily something I want, but this is something that I'm supposed to do, whether I like the uncomfortability of it.
Um, so what solidified? I'd say, what solidified what I'm supposed. Okay, breaking that cycle, the cycle that need to be broken. Finding
Ooh,
out what's the
ooh,
biggest part of my
ooh.
cycle for real. I mean,
Oh
we being
shit.
honest. I mean, find out the cycle.
Hell
We
yeah.
be in this cycle 24/7.
Yeah.
You'll feel uncomfortable if you break in that cycle because you never broke that cycle before, and that makes you feel uncomfortable doing it.
Okay, I can't do no gym drops because this ain't the bucket list. But Catherine Clark, she's the artist that came onto the show, and she was like, point at the camera when it's some good shit. That was some good shit. Go ahead, bro.
But yeah, like I find out what it is, that in that cycle that you breaking, whether it's a cycle of you smoking, you break that cycle on the other end of it, you seeing things more vividly, you seeing things. Well, I'm not saying I'm gonna stop smoking. I'm saying for you, somebody that's looking at the thing, But for me, would be either me would be going to work, that's my cycle I want to break. Going to work, and also my cycle I also want to break is, just because others done it to me don't mean I do it to them. Because I'd be
you feel me?
It takes patience. I love God, but I don't know how Jesus did it.
Man, what?
I be ready. I run with a boxing gloves.
Oh, you feel me? I mean, shoot. Now, one thing I have learned is, and because of my background, and for me, like I still consume myself with other religious texts and things of that sort, just because I don't want to be ignorant to anybody else's beliefs.
Yeah.
But what I've learned is like, bro, Jesus was about that, bro. God was about that. God was like, bro, you not listening, bro? I'm about to kill you, bud. What they say in the Bible? They say I'm about to smite you, bud.
Hey.
But the thing was, he had people around him, and I was like, hold on, wait a minute. You don't want to be known as that type of God that just out here killing folks just because they not listening to you. And honestly, like when I was able to understand that for what it really was, I was like, bro, it makes so much sense because the value of a spirit is something that cannot be measured by physical means.
So that again.
The value of a spirit is something that cannot be measured by physical means.
Yeah.
So like, even if I'm upset with you, like, bro, you really trying my ego right now, because that's really where it stemmed to at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, you are saying all this stuff because of whatever hurt feelings you had or whatever you felt in that time frame. But honestly, you can be mad, bro.
Yeah.
It ain't no problem. But when you make the decision, whether it's impulsively or not, to actually take a life away, that's something that weighs you down on ways that you can't physically control at all.
No.
And once I understood that, I was like, bro, I can't even rush to get angry or get mad because that patience kicks in. And like, bro, you really gonna do that? Make that decision right now?
Yeah.
You really gonna do that over a shawty?
Hey, but you see, that's the thing, like, yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I say I ain't no hard G. I'm a guy. I'm a lover boy. So of course, I'm gonna be hurt in a little bit, but I feel like for me, when I used to play, I didn't like this so much. Like my trust was so crazy. Like I let my past really overcome. Like there was this. I'm gonna say it. This is one woman I wanted to get with. Everybody, they call her. So I'm letting earthly people and other stuff get in the way. I know what she be on, but at the same time, I was trying to figure out her why. I never figured out her why. I was just antagonizing her. I really wanted to spend time with her. Really wanted to vibe out. So what I do? All right, we locked in. Well, it ain't even 2 days yet. I'm over here with another woman talking about something, making sure she see me, guy, and hey, feel me? Make sure she see me getting, and at that time it was instant gratification, attention, got what I wanted, but in the long run, I'm like, damn,
that ain't what I wanted.
I'm like, damn, like just, and it made me think, like, and I think over. I know everybody does what they want to do at the end of the day,
Yeah.
but for me and my well-being, I had to go back to the drawing board. To go back, and Shamar also told me this. He told me, like, look, go back to solitude, sit in solitude. Good real friend. Cause
some people can't sit by themselves.
No, because any other friend would have told me, oh yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
He told me straight up, like, yo, sit in solitude, and people can't sit by themselves. People don't like to be by themselves.
Because those thoughts scared him.
People don't like to be by themselves. But being by yourself is probably one of the most underrated blessings that you can ever, ever do. You can sit, serenity, you can do whatever you want to do by yourself. Just think. But it made me really think about, like, man, you don't even forget about the women part. It made me think, damn, Isaiah, you're having a battle with your mind right now, with your past, insecurities, and with your past. And I'm not afraid to admit that, and really say it, like, real. So it made me really think about, when you think about it, like, okay, all that messing around, all that, all the holding around, all the messing around, all that stuff, just doing it for, there's a reason why. Same reason why I'm doing it, attention. Same reason why she did it, for attention. We all hurt people. You hurt people hurting another hurt person, and that will never stop. That's why I don't want to do things just because other people do it.
Yeah. Honestly, like, that's a really big thing that affected my faith as well. Because for me, it was the fact that I literally had to seclude myself in order to hear just the thoughts that, one, were the ones that were a reflection or a projection from other people.
Yeah.
And then two, the actual guidance of how I was able to break cycles, if that makes sense. Like, cause when you sit in solitude, it's like, okay, you got that good and that bad. That's where that symbolic, like, angel and devil come from. Where it's one that's like, yeah, do that. But when I sat down, I was like, bro, this really not me, bro. Cause the way I think, I'm calculating all the reasons of what my actions will affect if I do this out of this frustration or this anger. And it's like, I can do it. I'm down to do it. Like, I'm 10 toes on it. But, like, do I really have to? Because everything I've been working for is going to crumble because I don't let this person push me past the limit or to a limit to where now I'm not in control of my actions.
And then what happens after you do it? Now, God forbid you done did it. And then, oh, that wasn't me. That's exact words. That ain't me. That ain't me. That ain't my character.
You snap out of it. You like, what?
That ain't me. But in the time, you feel me? You thought it was justified.
Yeah. And that's kind of that is the stem to my faith, because I don't want to be on this earth and say, oh, I did something that I knew was not a reflection of what I was supposed to do while I was here.
Yeah.
So going back to, like, how I've seen it depict, or the original question of how I've seen it depict in my life, I've definitely seen, like, I'm a visual person, so I can get, like, flashes of visual images in my head. And there have been points in my life where I've seen, like, oh, I would have done this. And I can see, like, after, let's say a month, a week after I snap out of the frustration, I can see what those actions would have caused and the triple effect that would have occurred if that would have happened. I just be sitting there like, damn, I would have been in jail. Like, meeting these people, especially when you meet new people, you're like, bro, I'm really excited. The fact that I was even able to be around you, and I would have robbed myself of that ability if I would have done so forth and so on back then. You feel me?
You never know. It's a blessing. Like, and it's a piggyback off what you said about, like, you know, at the time, you think it's the right thing to do to want to lash back. We human at the end of the day. We ignorant. We gonna be ignorant.
For sure.
We gonna be ignorant. Trust, but at the end of the day, too, it's like you think after you done all that, you thought you got what you wanted. You got your attention. You got all of that. That's sometimes people look to just make a reaction. Like, they see you coming in and you doing what you got to do. Now, hey, sometimes it might not be them. It might just be you. Your mindset. And I know sometimes I feel myself losing my own self because, you know, I wasn't where I needed to be mentally.
Mhm.
You know, I was in the past, keep coming back. And the thing is, it was affecting my relationship with people.
Mhm.
To the point to where, you know, sometimes I'd rather just like step back
Mhm.
altogether and be
Yeah.
like quiet and sit by myself instead of making the ones I love bleed because
Yeah.
you know of my
Ooh, that was
own because of my
good.
own so that I sit down I talk have more talks to myself about that a lot, like
Mhm.
really just seeing the bigger picture and understanding it's okay to be understanding, but if you know better you do better. So if you know first,
Mhm.
if you don't do better, fuck being understanding. Now I'm about to be understood and tell you, look, now I done listened to you, got your perspective. You don't want to do better. Now what's next? Now I got to now I got to get you out. Now that's when we can get the possibilities. Right? You have to know better. That's what you start doing better. That's me being ignorant, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah. No, I feel it, cause like even for me, like being a woman, it's like sometimes I know for myself my limit is different
Mm-hmm.
because even with like my brothers and stuff, y'all when you have an equal partner to combat and help you get that frustration out in the moment, but you know at the in the back of your mind, I'm just letting out steam and I can let my steam out and we both gonna let the steam out and we still gonna be straight at the end of the day. That's one thing. But like for me, depending on the situation, my limit is different. So
Mm-hmm.
my mind isn't going to, oh yeah, let's tussle, let's do this, let's do that. I'm already mentally preparing to make a decision that's like this can change your life and your soul.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, bro, I don't want to reach. I don't even want to get to the point where I feel even though I feel like I want to fight you.
Yeah.
I don't even want to take the action because at the end of the day, like you might be trying to fight, but my type of time is different. I
Yeah.
can't do the fight with you,
How
bro.
many times we got to tussle?
You
The
feel
fuck?
me?
After 8 times tussling and getting back, it's like
We
we've
we
been through this merry-go-round
we not doing that no more.
1,000 times. Get on.
We
Shit.
can't do that. So in order to just move on from that, it's like okay, I just have to have faith that regardless, you gonna see what you see,
Yeah.
and I'ma walk what I walk. And by the time at the end of the day, you gonna see where we end up. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, what I will say is that something that has solidified my faith over time. Because at some point, I questioned it. I was like, bro, like all these people telling me one thing and having this materialistic depiction of life and humanity in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, y'all got one thing on the side, but over time, what has actually occurred? Like you still in this predicament, you still in this mind state. But then I'm looking, even though I'm still fighting the words that you say to me, I'm looking at my life. And in that solitude moment, I actually step outside of myself and I look back at everything. I'm like, damn, like I didn't have any malintentions at all. But because of that, I'm seeing blessings in career, blessings in the people I'm meeting, blessings in the opportunities. I'm just like, you telling me I'm wrong, but like, I'm still moving. Like,
Yes.
I'm still going forward. So what's really the case if that's it? You feel me?
Yeah. Um, I feel like it's people. I'm gonna tell you this. You've been able to accept. I feel like you've been able to accept. What you've finally been at peace, whatever you've been going through. You know. But I feel like now, you know, you put that to the side. You ain't forget, but at the same time, you ain't have that on your mind,
Mhm.
and you let that go, and you was like, all right, I'm about to put on this hat and take this hat forward and have faith, walk with God. Here's my right hand. God, hold my hand. Walk with me.
Bro, I literally say that.
You
I
know?
can't. I'm dead ass to you right now. That's in my prayer. I be like, bro, just take my hand. Don't let go. I'll walk with you wherever you lead me to go.
Yes.
But
Even if I fight to let go, don't
you
let go.
feel me? Now I might,
Cause
we
I'll try
might
to tug a
argue.
little. You feel me?
I might want to sit down, but
I got it.
keep pulling me on. That's all I'm
I'm saying.
asking.
But yeah, so I feel like, but you really like, you saying like, look, hold my hand for this next one. And the thing is, with other people, even the people I've had issues with, and I've had to come to peace, knowing, yes, like, trust me, like, it's you can, first of all, people run back to their past a lot, and a lot of people run back to their past. And I know you can't save everybody,
Mhm.
but that's going back to that cycle. You have the cycle, repeated cycle of going back to the past, going back to what hurt you. You ain't never gonna heal. I don't care if it's your baby daddy, I don't care if it's your baby mom, I don't care if it's if it's you stealing, I don't care if it's you smoking, anything. If you had never, you know, you keep running back to that same thing. Like, yes, you had your old self, you had your old past, you had your
Mhm.
past behind you. Yes, it's all right to just look at your old self and be like, I'm blessed, I made it out of there. But don't ever sit in it. A lot of people
Mhm.
be like, and it took me a minute to realize, man, we really be like, yeah, the old me would have done this, or we'd be proud of that shit. We be in that motherfucker, the
For
old me would have
sure.
been this. I'd be like, the old me would have been.
Every shit.
So I'm learning, like, I'm learning discipline. The
Yeah.
discipline and all fact. Discipline.
Mhm.
Discipline mindset, discipline. Discipline finances.
Mhm.
Discipline in my walk. Trust me, it's a walk, and this walk with God, rocky.
Yeah,
I'm not,
boy.
I'm not, I'm not, I'm not on flat land right now. I'm on
we.
uncharted waters.
I'm trying to tell
Road.
you. Me. Honestly, I agree with you, and it's kind of interesting that you brought that up because the episode I released before this one is on mental health,
Mm-hmm.
and one thing that I don't know if I said it or not, but one thing that I've realized is the fact that, of course, there are the materialistic things that religion tells you not to do.
Yeah.
And there's, like you said, smoking and shit. Like, some people do, some people don't. But what I've realized is it's not a it's not the substance that's the issue. It's the mindset that you have of the user.
Yeah.
It's that person that feels like, oh yeah, I need this because it helps me feel better or it helps me feel happier when I'm down. When in hindsight, it really should be, let me sit down and just feel what I'm feeling, go through the emotions that I'm going through, understand why,
Yes.
and then after I understand why, after I digest it, then with that clear mind, you decide what do I want to do from now on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
yeah, that just made me bring it out. That just made me say that because that mindset is so much stronger than what people make it seem like. And that cycle, it kind of helps aid that thought that, oh yeah, this is just me, this is what I do. No, you just doing what you want to do and not really sitting in the fact that I need to digest my emotions.
Yeah. Like, I know when you go to like a party, I'm not saying like I'm not stripping it in any way. Like, I'm not stripping the fact of you smoking or drinking.
Mhm.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
I ain't no
Just do it
general
with
to
a
tell
clear
you to
mind.
stop doing it. 'Cause I'm a look. I tell you to smoke, stop smoking. I'm here. I love to smoke.
You feel me?
But at the same time, though, I understand the reason why behind I'm smoking, the reason why
Mhm.
behind it. And I'll tell you this right now, like, if you need a substance, it's gonna make you feel good at that time being. Like, mind you, you know, at one point I couldn't make you can't make a like back like I never used to smoke.
Mhm.
You know, I started smoking really started smoking like last year, basically.
Mhm.
And you know, this music I was making got much I was in that shit. Or I'm smoking with a shorty. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
damn, I was 10 times.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I need to be able to feel that way when I'm not
Mhm.
smoking. You feel, because you don't need a good time to have a substance.
Yeah.
You don't need a
Yeah.
wonderful time to have a substance, and your intentions are gonna come out, you know, bigger when you have liquor in your system or when you
Mhm.
have weed in your system.
Mhm.
You know, and you know, like, Don't get me started. I'll bring the Tito's to the party. But it's like
Yeah,
still at the end of the day, there's a limit, and you got to control that.
yeah,
There's a limit to that. I don't know why every day y'all want to kill y'all people want to kill their liver.
boy,
I can't do that.
for sure.
You know, but it's like it's not the substance, but it's like their mindset. What's in their mind? Like you need it. Um, I know I was driving to Georgia. I couldn't have no weed on me in the car. I
Mm.
get pulled over. Shit, it's a wrap for me, and I got expired tags. So it's like it's more like okay, maybe you don't need weed for these couple of days. Maybe you just need to sit down,
Mhm.
relax, let your thoughts gather them up without having.
Yeah, that's real. So let me start circling it back
Okay.
because we getting towards the end of the episode, and one thing I do want to be able to put a extreme spotlight on is just your career in general.
Mm-hmm.
So in answering the questions of how you walk through your faith, how you developed your faith, um, what place are you at right now in regards to your career involving everything that you've expressed so far?
Um, I'm feeling a lot of change.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling a lot of like I hear it, but see the thing is though, you have to be able to feel it for yourself first. Even through the things that you entertain. Oh shit! Damn! The hell! Damn!
And when you chilling,
The shit! The shit! The fuck!
it
I'm
gravitates
sorry.
to the
I'm
natural
sorry. I'm
world in
sorry.
general.
But back to what I said about like like I'm the way I don't no longer entertain foolishness like I used to entertain it.
Mm,
That you can see by a small amount of way. I don't get amazed. I don't get bothered by a couple of things. Sometimes and then sometimes the biggest thing is I could find accountability now in my faults. And
Woohoo!
finding accountability is hard because damn.
You don't want to put the blame on
But
yourself.
yeah, but it's
You know when you done did something you weren't
right.
supposed to, or that you just didn't want to do in that time. If
Yes.
that makes sense.
Or like if you keep hanging around anybody that or the person that keeps hurting you,
Yeah.
like you're accountable for why you keep getting hurt.
Yeah.
You keep giving the snake more time to shed its skin.
Woo,
All
hoo,
that.
hoo,
I ain't gonna go
hoo.
deep into them folks.
Oh, Joe, we gonna be here all day. We do
Let's
that.
get it. Let's get it.
So with that being said, last question: do you have anything to ask me that you've always wanted to, or anything of that sort, whether it be about faith or not?
Um, they want to ask how long your locks? Shit, I try to grow my shit out. I cut them back first.
Honestly, I really don't know. To be quite, I think they in the middle of my back now.
Mm-hmm.
I've had my locks for like going on 3 years now. I got them the summer of my sophomore year.
Okay.
No, the summer going into my sophomore year of college, and I've had them ever since. And the reason why I got them was because I did my research, and your hair in general, especially in the African culture, is like a connection to your relationship with God. And I started when I tell you mine was like, it was like right here. Gabby saw me when I first got my locks.
Hell yeah.
So she'll be able to tell you like, yo, it's definitely been growing exponentially without me really noticing. Like I didn't notice like when my hair got like this long,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice it for real until somebody else said, "Dang, your locks getting long." I was like, then I looked down, I was like, "Oh, for sure,
For
for
sure.
sure."
And it was also like the biggest cycle that you had to break as well, or that you were trying to break.
Um, the biggest cycle that I'm trying to break right now is personal with people like in my inner circle. Specifically like my immediate family.
Yeah.
I'm trying to break communicating to them through my inner child. or going back to my inner child when I am trying to articulate myself as being older and more grown. And I've always been the same type of person, but the way I try to balance respect and transparency with them kind of makes me revert back to that mind state subconsciously. So that's something I'm working on right now. And then externally with people, honestly, I'm just trying to break the cycle of just being, I don't know, because the cycle that I was trying to break more is just being frustrated in life in general.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of things I can look. I'd be like, bro, why the fuck are you doing that? Or what really makes you think that way? To where you're not seeing the blatant principle of just life in general. Like, yeah, you have your beliefs, but like the principality of it is the same.
Yes.
And it's bigger than you. So like, even if you butt hurt, why would you implement that into laws? That has nothing to do with your personal life. That has everything to do with just the structure of how people should operate as humans interacting.
But people want to out, and the biggest thing is I don't like it when people also bring their signs, their birth signs, like Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, all that. Give a damn what sign you are. I'll give you no right to disrespect.
Yeah. It depicts how you articulate yourself to people, but it doesn't justify that I should treat you like this. No. There's an immature and a mature version of every person.
Yes.
If you're going to be mature, be mature. You can still be a water sign and everything else. Just do it in a mature way.
But don't stop being nice either. You know, one thing, you have a good heart, and God is, you know, what He's doing. Like, first of all, I look at this. Everybody at one point was a good person. You know, even people that are locked up to this day. You know, there's something, there's a reason why somebody's going through what they went through. You know, whether it's start at family, big generational curse, like you don't really talk about it because black folk, we don't talk about things then and there. And that's the biggest thing. You gotta have communication. It's hard to have communication, hard to tell people the truth. It was hard to tell people the truth because people don't know how to take that truth. That shit feel uncomfortable. It feel uncomfortable, but you got to go through that uncomfortable shit if you want to be comfortable for the rest of your life. I'm telling you, that 30 minutes of talking, I don't care if you're a little 12-year-old boy talking about the birds and the bees with your father, with your pops. You gotta talk about that shit. Talk about that shit, how to treat a woman right, how to treat a woman respectfully. You know, talk about that shit. How to, like, you know, how to greet people when you walk in. Hi, my name's Isaiah Grubbs. How you doing?
How you doing?
You feel me?
You feel me?
It's
I get it.
more, you know,
I get it.
Like how to act, and you know, it's not doing rude, mean stuff just because other people done mean stuff to you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just thankful that I found good people, and I found, you know, I found you 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You know, and now that everything's coming full circle, it's now my family done, I can really chop it up.
I'm so excited.
I love this. I really love this.
Man, so with that being said, look, we about to end this episode because we really just chilling, you feel me? So we can really sit here and talk all day, but y'all got to go. So it's me, Don't Let the Connect, and
Isaiah Grubbs.
So we'll see y'all. Peace.